ideas for fundraising to see where we can move that needle. Because I mean, right now it seems like we just reinvent the same wheel every year as far as fundraising goes. I mean, it's like we're not gaining ground on this process of fundraising. You know, you would, like Caroline has mentioned before, Bishop Kelly has a list of former students and former parents from 1960 to the present. And San Miguel doesn't have that. So I want to make sure we determine that fundraising part, because that seems to be the glue that keeps us all together in this mission.
So Jeff, am I understanding you to say that you think that the number one goal, especially as we look at the next hour and 15 minutes, should be to develop a strategy around fundraising, and that we would be better served to just focus on that? Or are you just saying we need to all acknowledge that that needs to happen?
Well, I think, you know, the fundraising is the backbone to having the mission.
Sure.
And so, I mean, if we had a list of, you know, 20 entities that, you know, would say, hey, we're on board to give X amount of dollars for the next 5 or 10 years, then we could look at tweaking how we're doing things, more than whether we're going to be opened or closed, or, you know, radically different.
Right.
But it all is tethered together. So you know.
It's hard, isn't
I
it?
agree with your emphasis there, Jeff. I think we do need to keep in mind that when we go out fundraising, we're selling a product. And that sounds crass when we're talking about a mission or a Catholic Lasallian education. But frankly, when we go out there to raise money, we're selling a product. And I think hand in hand with looking at, do we have enough money to keep doing what we're doing? We need to make sure that we are selling the best possible product that we can. So we need to look at some of those other issues too. And that'll have effect on our donors. If they know that we're doing a really good job of educating these kids and giving them options and opportunities, they're more likely to give. But I think whatever repair we need to do to our fundraising, we need to do it to our overall function as well.
Yeah.
Well, Jeff, you made a really good statement one time. You said if our story and our successes don't bring in the donors, then there's something wrong with our story.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we have to get down into some of the educational things and some of the graduate support things and get that bolstered up, as well as the fundraising, because it all kind of goes together. We can't do any fundraising if our story isn't, if we're not telling a true story or you know. So I thought that was a really good statement that you made. If our story isn't bringing donors, then there's something wrong with our story. And so I think probably that's what this exercise is going to help us determine, is what is our story, whether it's a school or whether it's a support system or whether it's whatever, whether it's San Miguel as it is right now. But as long as our story is bringing donors, then our story is successful. But when the donors start drying up, there's something wrong with our story.
Yeah,
we have a good story.
I think so too. I think I would, you know, Katie made the comment about that you're selling a product. Well, I would like to hear the group discuss what you think the product is. What are you selling?
Well, to me, you're selling education to people who would otherwise, or quality of education that would otherwise not have it available, and you're keeping them on a pathway of life that is upward trending and self-sustaining if they stay on the path. I mean, that's what our business is. And mission, call it a mission, but it gets pretty practical. Get them into high school, any high school. I mean, I see it straightforward myself, and it is a product, if you want to think of it that way, but it's a human product, and very human. And
Yeah, I think it's breaking what we talk about all the time. What we're doing is breaking this cycle of poverty. We're giving these students an opportunity. And how do you get that? How is that cycle broken? By education. There's no two ways about it. And so we are giving them this opportunity to somehow get some kind of education, no matter what it is, whether it's trade school, could be trade school. We have several of our students this past year, they're going to Rogers, then going to Votech. One of them is going to be a plumber. He's going to make a whole lot more money than I ever made as a
Yeah,
teacher.
exactly.
Yeah.
question about that.
But it's breaking that cycle. They don't have opportunities. Mom and dad that come here, they're working 2 or 3 jobs. They give some time here when they can. We'll have a student. We had a student miss yesterday. Why weren't you here? My mom had to work overtime. Couldn't get me here. Wish she would call, we wouldn't pick her up. But still, it's that cycle of poverty. And these people have such a disadvantage from the fact that they can't communicate with the majority of Tulsans. You just can't do it. And that's another thing that we do here really well, besides the education process, is the fact that we reach out to these families through Marcella and through, each other. And we're helping. We have 30 coats sitting out here in the hallway. There's 30 coats waiting for family members to come and take them when they need them. So it's an easy sell. I'm sorry, it is. It's an easy sell. It's just, it's always going to be a challenge because there's a lot of good things out there to sell in Tulsa. And I'm glad there are, that the people are putting their time in these nonprofits. I'm not trying to blow smoke up I'll stop there. But anyway, but the whole board, you're putting your time in, you're putting your efforts in. You don't have to be here, and we're challenging you at times. Yeah. We want you to do more. We should do more, and we're going to try to do more. But at the same time, what you're doing is a benefit to these people. And, I encourage you to Katie has a great idea. And I know you got your own lives to live and your own businesses and come up here. Once we get back out of this COVID, come up here and spend half a day or whatever it may be. And there's knuckleheads here. I'm here. So it's proof there's knuckleheads, but there's a lot of good stuff going on here. There really is. And then along another line, it would be great if we could get the community more involved. And that's one of the things we keep talking about. And quite frankly, for the community to take this thing over. I don't doubt that one bit that would be the best thing to do, but we have to be good stewards of what we have. So when we leave that to them, they'll be ready to go.
I think that's great. And Roger, I agree completely. And it's a very good segue into the next poll that I want to go ahead and put you guys through. And so I want to do a poll and be completely honest about this. Because one of the things that we want to talk about is your, what I like to just call authentic passion to San Miguel and its mission. There are all kinds of different board members who bring all kinds of different strengths and bless an organization in lots and lots of different ways. And so there's not really a formula as to what that exactly looks like. But when you look at what a good board member does, they have authentic passion. They are truly passionate about the mission and about the organization. And so that's part of what I want to get some feedback from you guys. And it's not even, I'm not asking for a commitment. I just would like to get feedback on how you feel you are, what kind of passion do you have for San Miguel and how do you want to use that in the future? So I am going to figure out how to do this. I'm going to end that last poll that we had. Oh, that's how we do that. Okay. I'm going to close that. I'm going to open polls again. And I guess I share the results of the last one and I'm trying to figure out how to get to the next one. No, that's not
There
what
you
I
go.
want. Well, all it did was just bring up that last question again. So
No.
Did it bring up another one?
No, it's the old one.
Yeah.
Children.
Well, I've got 2 of them on there. So let me, here it is. There we go. So this is about authentic passion. And I just want you to be really honest. Really, this is being honest with yourself. And I will probably not even share these results right now. But it's something that we'll talk about later.
And we could only choose one.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and if you haven't answered yet, this is your last chance. So I'm going to go ahead and end that polling, but I'm not going to share the results yet. I will just tell you that it's very encouraging. So, and we'll talk more about that later. What I really want to move on to though, is getting these working groups. And so what I am going to do is assign each of you to a working group. But what I want to do first is just kind of show you what's going to happen. And I'm going to step into, I've got it where I can enter all of the different rooms and jump in and help and, coach or do whatever if I need to. But let me just sort of show you the process. I'm going to share this screen. So what I am sharing with you now is the wrong screen. Let me get the right one on here. There's 2. There's 3. I'm going to share that. Well, all right. Well, I'm going to just go on this one. Do you guys have the one that says organization, administration, finance? Is that what everyone's looking at?
I have governance.
Government.
Governance. Oh, good. That's what you're supposed to have.
I have governance